GSL SuperTournament Season 1.
We're back here at the GSL SuperTournament. Coming up next, we have INnoVation versus herO. We've already seen Classic and Dark survive the left side of the bracket. Now we're going on to the right side.
Yeah, I mean, this round of 4 is really something else so far. Classic versus Dark on one side, and then any of these players playing against each other is just fantastic. So, INnoVation versus herO coming up. I'm leaning towards herO, but INnoVation looked fantastic against Rogue, no doubt about that.
Right. I am excited, especially to see how herO's going to play here. Oh, hold on. We're going right into this interview. Hello, INnoVation. Hello.
자, 앞선 이 16강
So we've been waiting for a
경기로
while.
지난 시즌의 아쉬움을 날려버릴 수 있었는데요. 본인은 어떠셨나요?
사실
What do you think about your round of 16
워낙
matches?
기세가 좋아가지고 뭐 좀 어렵겠다고 생각을
So
했는데
Rogue's been playing great recently.
생각보다는 좀
So I thought it was going to be a really tough series.
그렇군요. 특이점은
But he didn't seem to play as well as I had expected. So that was interesting.
잠깐하게 유령 메타를 단 한 번도 쓰지 않으셨다는 겁니다. 오히려 정말 뚝심 있게 이 배불리는 트리플
Seems like you don't quite play the same as Maru.
이것이 이 본인이 생각하기에
For instance, the Raven Ghost style.
해답이라고 보신 건가요?
Can you tell us about that?
일부러 안 쓴 건 아니고요.
네.
일단 1단계랑 2단계가 있었는데
네.
1단계에서 다
It's
끝나가지고
not really my intention to not use Ghosts and Ravens.
만약에 그
I've got a bunch of different
러시가
styles.
막혔으면
네.
뭐 그때부터 이제
It kind of depends on the
2단계로
situation.
넘어갈 생각이긴 했어요.
아, 이 트리플 운영이 만약
If my opponent blocks the first style.
과정이었군요.
트리플 운영 말고요.
In the first few steps, excuse me, in the first few steps of that match, it didn't really matter what I was going to be doing in the later part of the game.
하고 했는데 거기서 뭐 게임이 계속 길어지면 유령 까마귀 갔겠죠.
Either way, all the games finished pretty quickly. If
그렇다면
I had longer games against Rogue, you probably would have seen more Ravens and Ghosts.
현재 많이 해보셨는지도 궁금한데요. 지금의 이 말씀이시라면 승률이 좋았다는 뜻이겠죠?
I'm wondering, do you usually use Raven Ghost
안
builds
해봤는데요.
when, for instance, you practice back at home?
거기까지
not as much.
가고 또 저그가 그렇게 시간을 많이 주게 되면
네.
조합이 갖춰지면 테란이 좋은 것 같아요.
아, 그렇군요.
If I let Zerg have that much time and influence, then Zerg's usually going to be in a favorable position. So I just try not to let them get that much momentum.
네, 힘들어요.
Are you having a hard time against Protoss?
알만한 사람은 이신영
Yep,
선수가
I would say so.
프로토스를 많이 싫어한다는 걸 다 알고 있을 텐데 그런 개인적인 감정 외에
I think there are so many
정말
fans out there.
테란과
Everybody knows that you hate Protoss.
뭐 앞전 경기에 성주가
Let's be honest, though.
힘을 못 쓰고
Do you really think they're OP?
네.
뭐 테란 중에 그래도 해답이다라고 하는 유일한 테란이 그렇게 무너지는 걸 보고
네.
We've already witnessed these problems.
저도 좀
Maru's one of the very
즐거웠다고
top
생각을
Terrans.
했고 밸런스는 솔직히 뭐 까마귀 뜨면 후반 가면
But we still saw he fell apart against Classic.
네.
한 6대 4 정도로
A lot of people say that when we go into the late game,
그리고 제가
Terran has a
저번
solid
시즌 토스전까지만 해도 거의 타이밍 위주로 했거든요. 자신이 없어가지고
네.
막상
But
운영해보면
up until the last season,
막 못 이길 정도는 아니에요.
I tried to go for several timing attacks.
그렇군요. 자,
When I
오늘
faced
경기에선
Protoss,
또 어떤 모습 보여줄지
since I didn't have any
기대가
confidence.
됩니다. 오늘 경기 가고
I think I'm okay.
들어보겠습니다.
일단 토스전 좀 못하는 이미지긴
They quickly
한데
asked INnoVation what his determinations are.
형이 요새 좀
네.
So anyways, I'm not that good against Protoss.
라는 말을 들어가지고
아, 그래요.
동준이도
But I heard herO actually hasn't been practicing that much lately.
준호 형한테는 지면 말도 안 된다고 하더라고요.
네.
오늘
And one of my friends said that if you were defeated by herO,
네, 자, 과연 어떤 결과가 나올지 기대를 해보겠습니다.
you're not even a pro
오늘
gamer.
경기
So
네, 감사합니다.
I'm here to
자,
prove that
그럼
wrong and defeat
절대
him now.
져서는 안
That's funny.
돼. 김준호 선수를 만나보도록 하겠습니다. 안녕하세요.
All right, let's meet herO.
네.
Hello,
자,
hello.
슈퍼 토너먼트 하면 김준호 선수죠. 먼저 오늘 컨디션 어떠신가요?
So we talk about the Super Tournament. You've got to talk about herO. How's your condition today?
이번에 희망이 보여서 대진이 신형이더라고요.
So
네.
before I hadn't had that much
희망이
time to
걸리는
practice.
거예요. 그래서
네.
또
But when I looked at my
어제 새벽까지
brackets,
연습하느라
especially with players like INnoVation,
컨디션이 안 좋긴 한데
네.
경기력만큼은
I found my hope.
나쁘지 않을 거라 생각해요.
네.
I practiced hard, especially late into the night last night.
에서 정말 아쉽게도 이 탈락을 한 건 정말 큰 충격이 되셨을 것 같아요. 상심이 있으셨을
It's
텐데.
disappointing to
네.
see you get eliminated in those qualifiers that we had for Season 2 of
그때는
GSL
솔직히
S.
아예 GSL은 떨어진다는 생각을 한 번도 해본 적이 없기 때문에
Actually, at the time, I
상심이 컸는데,
never even dreamed about
어떻게 보면은 이제
not making
집중할
it
수
to the
있잖아요,
GSL,
대회들을
so that
하나하나.
was hard.
그래가지고
It was very
스포에 더
frustrating.
집중할 수 있는 그런 환경이 조성된 것 같아요.
Maybe this is a chance to focus on something
저도
else.
미리
Now I've got
말씀드리긴
the Super
했는데
Tournament.
오늘 이병렬 선수가 아니라
This is my
이승용
chance for me to
선수라서
prove to
더
everybody I'm
자신이
still
있다, 이런
legit.
말씀을 어제 팬미팅에서 하셨다는 제보가 있었거든요.
네.
이게 어떤 뜻인지 자세히 들을 수 있을까요?
일단 병렬이한테 하도 당한 게
heard you showed a lot of
많아서
confidence
하기
against
싫었고,
INnoVation.
그리고 신영이
Yeah, that's
상대로
true.
많이 이겨보기도 했고 종족도 테란
I was actually much more concerned about meeting Rogue.
이신영
Since INnoVation's a Terran,
자신감이 있으신 것 같네요.
I beat him
그런데
before.
앞선 인터뷰에서 괜히 일격을 당했어요.
So I'm feeling pretty good.
연습을 도와줬던 상대에게 김준호한테 지면 안 된다 이런 이야기를 들었다는데 기분이 나쁘신가요?
아니요 나쁘진 않고 제
So there was a
팩트이기
saying that if
때문에
INnoVation was defeated by herO, INnoVation should be a pro gamer. What do you have to say to that?
열심히 해보려고요. 네.
그렇군요.
That just motivates me more, whatever.
폼이 떨어지신 겁니까? 그러면 본인 스스로도 요즘 경기가 잘 안 되세요?
좀 경기를
What do you think about your performance
최근에
recently,
지고
by the way?
좀 쉬는 타임을 가진 게 사실이에요. 그래가지고 쉬었는데 그래도 최근에
Recently,
다시
I've lost
시작해가지고
many games.
폼은 어느 정도 올라왔다고
When I
생각해가지고
been on a bit of a losing streak, I tried to take some time off.
네. 자, 2018년
But I don't think my fans and my supporters need to worry about me.
가지고 있는 김준호
I've
선수입니다.
regained my confidence. I'm taking
그래서
care of it.
기대를 하고 있는데요. 마지막으로 각오 들려주시죠.
오늘
Your determination for the
100%
matches?
이어나가도록 하겠습니다. 많이 응원해주세요. 감사합니다.
네.
I'll keep
김준호
continuing,
선수의 오늘 경기 활약 기대하겠습니다.
bringing my 100% best. Enjoy my
자, 이렇게
games.
오늘 경기에
And look
나서는
forward
이신영
towards my
선수와
games.
김준호
Okay, that does
선수까지
it for the interview.
만나봤습니다.
This is the match I was most excited about, Archos.
Oh yeah, this one here.
I want to see what strats herO does.
I think classic Maru. I was probably most excited, but
Yeah.
stats Solar was a close second.
Well, Classic Maru was definitely a good starting point, right?
Yeah, but this one is definitely a good one. I'm kind of siding with herO here. Like, what is INnoVation talking about if you lose to herO, you're not even a pro gamer? herO is one of the most dominant players last year. He's
right?
still fantastic. Yeah, he didn't make it into Code S, so that's probably where these rumors that he's not practicing are coming from. But like, that's a fluke. That's such a fluke. He said himself, he's like, I didn't even imagine that was a possibility. No one imagined herO couldn't get into Code S. Like, especially the way the qualifiers are done now, where you get a second chance and stuff. It's like, what? But
yeah, it's really surprising. I mean, people have bad days, bad weeks, bad months sometimes. And it seems like that was just, I guess, what happened. But
Had a bad
who
day,
knows?
man.
Maybe INnoVation's going to smash through here. Of course, we have the very textbooky INnoVation versus the very deceptive and tricky herO.
yeah, herO definitely knows how to mix it up in a PvT, that's for sure. If INnoVation can take him out here, though, I think that gives INnoVation like a really decent shot at the tournament. It's just I really doubt that he's going to. herO, when he hits INnoVation, I feel like he wins most of the time, and like you said, INnoVation, he'll play these kind of like, I don't want to pin him in as just completely standard. He definitely does mix it up more nowadays than he used to, but like herO, it's hard, man, because he can play every phase of this matchup in every build order.
He really can.
You were saying before you thought he might have the most different strategies or build orders.
I think at any
It might
given
be.
point in time.
Yeah, it might be the case. Like, I can't deny.
It seems like his approach is he probably has, like, even in this matchup alone, maybe like 40 builds.
It seems
at any
like
point in
that.
time, he can just pull out various deviations from that or ways to mask. There's so much to herO. So this is going to be a real challenge here for INnoVation. It's interesting to see INnoVation with a cocky interview because he's kind of stepped it up from just really, really bad interviews, though, historically.
No,
but let's
got to
see.
do something because Maru's winning the tournaments. So
That's right.
you can't be not winning the tournaments and have worse interviews than Maru.
Yeah, you got to do something. Okay. this is our map lineup. We're going to start things off with Neon Violet Square. Definitely a map where herO can open up with some tricky stuff.
It's also a giant map, so getting that late game shouldn't be that hard for INnoVation. I'm glad we're starting on Neon Violet Square. Actually, definitely gives some potential for one of these longer games. And if we do get into that late game, is INnoVation going to be comfortable using that type of armor? We haven't seen him use it lately. You already brought that up in an interview.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Our other maps, Black, Pink, Backwater, Catalyst, and Darkness Sanctuary, if we do go to that final Game 5. Both of our players have now joined up in the lobby. INnoVation's somebody who has reasserted himself as one of the most dominant forces in all of StarCraft Terran. He's here to do it again in the Super Tournament. He's always looking consistent. He's always looking solid. He took out Rogue already. If you could take out Rogue right now, you could probably take out anybody.
Yeah, it seems that way.
The problem is herO seems to be the anti-INnoVation.
Yeah.
Players like herO have been stopping players like INnoVation and making this game a little bit more spicy ever since.
Well, INnoVation did beat SOS in that GSL Finals last year,
That's
so
true.
He knows how to deal with some aggressive, crazy Protoss play.
But herO is a little bit different. Let's see if this game starts to look the same, though, for INnoVation.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 8, Match 3.
Yeah, I like the artwork of the players, but the background artwork is even better, to be honest.
There's so much cool artwork for this tournament.
INnoVation. Root Gaming, herO.
And by the way, I don't want to typecast these guys too much. I know that herO does a lot of tricky stuff. He generally does. Yeah. He can play a great normal game. INnoVation is capable of being sneaky.
Yeah, and he's gotten more sneaky more recently.
And I think it's because he's evolved as a player.
Yeah, he's getting better and better. I remember last year several times he was busting out completely new builds and cheesing sometimes, and it was kind of reminiscent of MVP, especially with how dominant he was playing.
So you have that first SCV coming out. Needs to get a read on what exactly herO's got in store this time around. As we mentioned on this map before, there are these little mini bases tucked away in the back behind your main that you can take. Very gas-rich, not so much a mineral-rich base.
Yeah.
Usually, players try to save those bases for later, unless they're put in a weird spot or there's something in the build where they don't have a lot of defenses, but they want to try to sneak that one out. The other option is, of course, to just try to expand out to these more substantial bases that do allow you to reap a little bit more benefits if you can hold them.
Probe going up here. I wonder if he's looking for proxy. He hasn't actually truly scouted yet. Yeah, it seems like he's just really double checking for proxies. A very safe build, a very economic build from herO to scout so late, and then also the wall in is just kind of saying no thank you to any Hellions trying to come up. Look at how thoroughly he's really scouting the map, but I do wonder if this probe maybe is going to go down and proxy something. This kind of area he's going to is the area that doesn't get scouted as often. By the way, I love the bus in that trash pile.
I just noticed that too. We've seen a lot of this map, but I never actually noticed there is a giant bus over there, just on top of it.
Oh, juking and jiving.
So INnoVation will finally have this killed off.
Twilight on the way. Okay, the probe finally makes its way up here. What a roundabout route that it actually took. Decent scout. You can see the factory, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And there is one Cyclone on the way as well.
Very quick blink coming out of INnoVation.
Of herO, yeah.
I mean, yeah. No, it's INnoVation.
Can you imagine if he did have Blink?
Blink on Cyclones?
Blinking Marines.
He does. It's called the Medevac. It also heals. It's a healing blink taste. It's crazy. What Terran unit would be the most broken with blink?
Liberators in their in their siege mode.
What about Thor? Thor with blink would be pretty sick.
Yeah, but they got the Medevac as well.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of something.
Medevacs are pretty good.
You had siege tanks in siege mode, blinking away. Maybe that'd be the best. They just stay in siege
while
mode.
they're in
Blink back.
siege mode.
Yeah.
Wow, imagine that tank push. Holy
That'd
crap.
be crazy.
Giving me nightmares.
And then when you're waiting to push and they're running, all your tanks blink ahead.
Yeah.
Fire down everything.
Gosh.
So several more gates. Now having even a number of stalkers like this can telegraph what you're doing.
Stalkers are a very defensive or very aggressive unit here.
Yeah, there's no middle road generally with stalkers.
Like, if you make 3 stalkers, nothing Terran is going to do early on is really going to do too much against you. Like, even reactive cyclones, you're going to have kind of the numbers you need to start microing against them on a ramp.
Right.
But not that that's going to completely hold it by itself. It's quite good defensively. Now that he has all these stalkers, but a bunker on the way and a cyclone sitting next to it, I don't think hero's really going to get anything done here. Although he does have really great micro.
Okay, he goes for the cyclone first. Great blink away.
Yeah, that was really nice to pick off the cyclone.
He's got a few more stalkers finishing up. There is one Raven out here, one SCV to try to repair. He blinks forward. Not enough SCVs to repair.
Yeah. Wow, I'm surprised he was so late pulling those SCVs up. A little bit greedy there by INnoVation.
I think
now
it's
in
because
trouble.
Yeah, this is actually going to be really problematic. In fact, I think Hero might be able to take this with good blinking.
Yeah, he's definitely dealing a ton of damage. These SCVs coming out to fight, but more stalkers being warped in.
That's it. GG. Hero does it again. I think having those stalkers that came in from that angle just to the upper right of that forced INnoVation to miscalculate what was happening. INnoVation definitely feeling the salt. The salt is passed and spread all around here at the Super Tournament.
Yeah, well, when you're talking about how Protoss is Imba and then you lose like that, it's kind of like this self-fulfilling prophecy, right? It's not as if there was not... Like,
you can hold that for sure.
He had a bunch of stalkers up front, pick off the cyclone, and the bunker had some damage on it, and then he blinked away, right?
Yeah.
And INnoVation didn't pull up any additional SCVs. If that bunker doesn't die, then the game continues.
It's a bit odd, too, because as we were saying early on, if you see stalkers outside your base like that, okay, they're going to try to kill you.
Yeah. They didn't get the blink to kill a cyclone and then expand twice.
Yeah.
That's not the strat.
So, I mean, the fact that he had only one SCV, which is just never going to cut it with that many cyclones. 3 volleys later, the bunker is gone. We're now going into our third game here. Hero versus INnoVation. Hero, classic Hero style, tearing through INnoVation with that blink stalker timing. Let's see what happens in game number 2.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 8, Match 3. INnoVation.
Hopefully he doesn't just die to the first attack of the scheme.
Gotta be very frustrating.
Root Gaming.
No doubt.
Hero.
Well, especially when you're one of these Terrans that has such clean late game, and this Protoss comes in and robs you of that experience. You have so much to show.
You have so much love to share with the world.
So
with all
much.
of your barracks and your starports just producing
You just
nonstop.
want to show the world how much you can produce.
Yeah.
But then, Hero, the Hamburglar of victories, comes in and steals that all away. And you're thinking, oh man, if I could just stop these wacky little attacks from you, then the world would see what I truly am, for I am INnoVation, king among men.
God amongst macro.
His macro is so good that if macro was being a weightlifter, he could put all the weights on the barbell and do one heavy rep.
Wow.
Yeah. The bar's bending.
He'd be
INnoVation
like-
with his skinny arms is there.
Oh my God. He'd be as
Pushing
strong
it
as
up.
Loco at that point.
That's
crazy.
right. Madness. But no. If it's none other than the Hamburglar of victories Hero, sneaking over there.
Burglar.
Yeah.
The greatest villain ever to have lived. Right there.
INnoVation's trying to do that power bench press. 1 million pounds.
$1 million.
A million, billion, bajillion pounds.
Wow.
And then herO the Hamburglar comes by in one of those Mario Kart things and throws a turtle shell out. Just knocks him right out. But this is
just
why
a regular green shell, or is it a red shell, or is it a blue shell?
well, it's a different shell each game, Artos. He's herO. He has so many builds.
Oh my god.
Okay, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's the banana peel.
Sometimes you got to be behind to get ahead.
Yeah.
You know? By the way, the build we're seeing, we saw this build already today. Classic did
that's
the
right.
same build where he went for the very quick warp gate, and it was just like 3 adepts poking in. He saw where the bunker was, made 3 stalkers, and it didn't really do that much, to be honest, against Maru. Maru was just kind of fine. He had a cyclone. He just kind of pushed it back, didn't really take any damage. But you can transition out of this. This is not an all-in in any way. Like, you have your 3 gates. One of the big keys to this is just keeping on pressure, right? Because you're not teching behind, so you want to keep Terran kind of pinned in their base for as long as possible, something like this. But I love the Widowmine walking out onto the map. If he catches any units with the Widowmine right now, that's really strong.
And basically a free kill.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, you're trying to do an early push with a very exact amount of units, and now you've lost one, and the other ones are damaged. Oh, but he doesn't have a bunker, so there's potential here.
Oh god, is this going to go the way of game 1?
Is he going to shade past this? Or is he going to walk right into it? He's going to walk right into it, is what's going to happen.
Oh! Hey, really good control.
He's split, so that's good.
And the fact that there's no bunker is problematic. Now, these Marines are hitting this pylon, but he's also going to lose some of these Marines up here.
Yeah, the SCVs have to be pulled.
Oh, dude, this is really bad. Oh, INnoVation.
Yeah, he's in a lot of
And
trouble,
after
man.
you killed Rogue.
No, ruining our fun here. That's 7 SCVs. That's pretty crazy. He's made 3 more adepts. Can shade past this mine at this point. He's getting glaives and a robo. Oh god, hero's just going to go for the throat.
Okay, nice block there. Does decide to pull back. Bunker is about to finish. And is immediately loaded up with those Marines. A tank here. Maybe it's time for herO to back off.
Well, I like that unit split, catching the Reaper as it comes out.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know that the Reaper's going to go that way, so he just intercepts it there. More gates. He's mad. Guys, he's lost it.
Oh, herO
herO
going
has
for the kill.
officially lost his marbles. Only he's the kind of guy that when he loses his marbles, he becomes one of these painters that is worth so much money. He's already cut off his ear and sent it to INnoVation in a box.
Well, that would definitely tilt INnoVation a little bit, I think.
Yeah, he'd be like, oh, gross, in ear, germs.
Here's a question. If you cut off your ear and send it to somebody in this day and age, do you just go to jail for that?
That's
It's a gift, so
probably
it's...
not jail. Probably, you probably need help. I think by today's standards, they don't take your art as seriously. But he's going to try to bust in here.
Well, he certainly is. Like, this is a lot of gateways. He has 8 gates right now. It says 7 there, but it's 8. Yeah, he has more than one.
There's a vulnerability if he can pounce on the tank, but the fact that there's a tank there means he might just go around this.
Ooh, the Viking trying to get the damage done, but actually picks up those stalkers.
Yeah,
so
he's going to drive this out, which means this Warp Prism might go on to warp in yet another round. He needs to have one more solid warp in. The Marines and the Marauders are kind of zoned out of this. The Viking's coming forward. Does he? Oh!
Ooh, wow.
Denies that.
Super big kill right there, but 8 SCVs going down. Oh, the second Prism, of course.
Yeah, he doesn't just make one.
Yeah.
What are you talking about,
Look,
guys?
if I lose it, I might lose the game. I'd rather win the game.
I'm not going to go to a late game here.
Oh, my God.
Oh, I thought he was going to do it for a second.
I was like, that's not quite up.
Check this out, though, Artie.
Yeah, that's where you really get the victory right there. 12 SCVs going down already here. INnoVation trying to keep it all together.
Well, I think with this next warp in, he's just going to go right on top. Yep, that's going to be it. Uh-oh,
Yeah.
Is INnoVation going to get to play a normal game?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay, well, that is that. 29
Okay.
SCVs dead already.
Wow, this medevac's actually healing just enough. But it is 40 workers to 10. Though I can't imagine how tilted INnoVation is in this moment. This actually happened in this game. He loses his middlemans too, unfortunately, as they try to skirt forward here. Eventually those medevacs are going to run out of healing energy, right? I mean,
you would imagine. And all the Marines getting picked off anyways. Can't even heal those quickly enough. Still making Marauders. Still trying to hold it together here. INnoVation down to 11 workers, though. So I guess technically he's alive. Doesn't feel live, I bet, though.
No.
Bet he feels pretty dead.
Is the harass going to continue here? He's got more adepts coming in. There's a limited number of Marauders here. Again, no real heal energy on these medevacs unless you got a new one out. I think it's just still the same two from before.
Look at that base he's taking.
He's so hero.
Yeah. That medevac will never go over there.
INnoVation just limping through this game is going to have the uphill battle of his life. And even if he manages to survive all of this and the game normalizes, then we have to find out if he's actually going to find this expansion in the far upper left. Ooh, ouch. Eating one Widowmine hit.
Yeah, that's a good Widowmine hit. Look at this. Picks up one Marine and boosts after. He actually missed micro there for a moment.
Ooh, that was close. Kind of sick play, though.
Yeah. We saw that actually on day one, I think. One of those as well. Cute moves.
Wow, I can't believe INnoVation actually survived that attack. So INnoVation's going to try to come out now. There is a chance that INnoVation could do some serious damage. He has to control perfectly, though.
I mean, he has some Marauders. He has Concussive Shell right now, so that's pretty good. He has the +1 attack. That's pretty good. But herO should have enough units, and the thing is, his third base, he hit it for a reason. Yeah, with 2 Immortals, 3 Sentries. No way this can kill him. No way. You just sit on your ramp and then,
INnoVation's committing.
INnoVation trying to stim up here, trying to get him to overcommit.
Widowmine burrows. Looks like herO has not quite overstepped the bounds and triggered that yet, though. But there's still enough units being shaved off here.
Ooh, somehow doesn't kill that Widowmine. Right, actually recalls some of his probes. Good move, so that he doesn't see him anymore. Third Immortal pops out.
Still waiting for an Observer or something to spot for that. He has no Observer with this, right?
No, I don't think he does. But he has enough Immortals that this no longer is really doing anything.
GG. INnoVation taps out. herO now with a 2-0 lead. Speed running this side of the bracket is what this guy's all about.
Yeah. Now, I need to point out, right, because on the first glance, it looks like Maru dealt with the same opening much better than INnoVation. But let's not forget that Classic actually let a Shade finish that let the Reaper get up. There was a lot of Reaper denial, so he didn't get to see exactly what tech there was. And so INnoVation didn't end up making the bunker to open. And that's what allowed herO to kind of snowball this and go into the Robo and go into the Glaives. Whereas we saw Classic have to back up, take a third base, things like that. So even though it basically that build went more like the build was supposed to go for Classic, but herO kind of executed it better with that initial Reaper defense.
This is so tilting right now for INnoVation. He has to win 3 games in a row. INnoVation, one of the greatest macro standard Terrans of all time, is getting robbed here by herO, who just has openings that are so strong, the game never gets to be where INnoVation wants to bring it to.
Yeah.
Let's go to game 3 now. INnoVation versus herO on the map Backwater.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 8, Match 3. INnoVation.
Really interested to see what build he opens up with here on Backwater. We did watch Bjorn versus Stats here and had to be pretty critical of the way Bjorn decided to play the map. See how INnoVation opens up.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be better
Root Gaming, herO.
Yeah, that was like really weird when. So Bjorn opened up. For those of you guys that didn't see it, obviously on this map there's a third base, kind of like on our on some of our other maps we have like a free third base tucked away.
Yeah.
This one's tucked away as well. But Bjorn, so Stats takes those 3 bases obviously and has modest defense. Bjorn just makes 3 barracks and tries to pressure the one entrance that Protoss has, and of course Protoss holds that easily.
Yeah.
It seemed like the wrong build
So
for the map he was
wrong
on.
Strategy for the map for sure.
Well, the map's made so that you probably can get a third base easily and safely. It's encouraging macro play, and to try to, if Protoss takes a third base on a map and that area is open, and there's lots of angles to hit it, then Byun's build makes sense. But he did an odd build on this map, and I don't know what to make of it. And of course, he was eliminated 3-0.
Yeah. Well, that might happen in INnoVation as well, to be honest. Look at the way that this is going. Reaper expansion versus a very normal expansion here from herO. See what his tech is going to end up being. I love these bushes, by the way. I love little things like this where it's like, do you spend the time to check all the bushes? Probe in the bush is worth 2 in your base.
That's what they say.
Look at that. He
So,
just sees everything.
coming from herO, man, let's wait and see. I mean, I would not be surprised if he does another kind of cute timing like that again early on here. He's certainly, I mean, when it works that well 2 times in a row, he's getting the Stargate this time around. By the way, having that probe in the bush meant that he was able to come down here and start attacking this SCV that's making the first command center, which is quite impactful if you're starting out with a build like this as Terran.
Yeah.
You do not want that delayed.
You always get the reactor right after the Reaper, too. It's just like almost every build functions like this, so you don't have any units at home. The probe heals, so you can really harass heavily. And it looks like he overstays his welcome by a little bit, but, you know, that was still worthwhile. Reaper
So-
did get its own probe and checks out the Stargate, so definitely a worthwhile Reaper scout as well.
So the Oracle's on the way now. Look at this. herO's just everywhere, completely preempting that Reaper.
Ooh!
Great play.
Just got it.
Now, actually spotting if they take that third base is quite important, because any player who likes to macro is going to be tempted into taking that third, but you need that confirmation.
Yeah, he actually checked it pretty darn quickly. And it is being taken very quickly as well.
But the Reaper didn't see the third. Am I crazy?
No, it did not.
Okay, so not having that confirmation, especially if you're against herO, I would not want to be INnoVation. He needs to invest some resources into finding that.
Sure. When you see Stargate, it's more likely that that third base is going to be taken because it just like the Stargate kind of keeps Terran at bay a little bit and can help defend very well against drop harassment. So it's just like a very good thing to take a very fast third Nexus off of. INnoVation, though, of course, as you said, he lost the Reaper. He doesn't know for sure. And herO is the type of player that could do anything from here.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I do appreciate that general rule, but I feel like herO is... It's incredible how often he manages to trick his opponent.
Yeah.
By the way, another nice little kill here.
As soon as you think he took that quick third man, bunch of oracles flying and get your stim tech lab before you even know what's going on.
Stim, by the way, is about halfway done. And I guess herO's really kind of driven this game in a more standard direction. Now it's going to be INnoVation's turn to try to push out and see if he can't do any damage with these Marines parading across the map.
I'm not sure what those Marines will really be able to get done. He's got 3 gates now. He actually has shield battery. Not done yet. Oh, he catches the Oracle. That's actually a big deal.
Yeah, that's very good for INnoVation.
Yeah.
And INnoVation's been on a bad streak since this series started. He's going to come forward now. Now Stim's going to be done in 10 seconds.
Yeah, he's got some potential here, really. There's enough force fields he can actually cut this off completely. Let's see if he does that.
You need to be careful here as INnoVation, because if you overextend, there's no medevac with this army to pick it up.
Yeah.
And you can end up simply losing those small number of Marines for nothing.
Well, he chooses the better part of Valor and escapes here. That was kind of interesting. I liked what we just saw here, right? He walks across. All he gets is the Oracle. Of course, he forces some additional units to be warped in. He sees the units and decides, yeah, if I lose this chunk of Marines, there's no way I'm winning this game.
Sure.
Needs a bigger push a little bit later. So backing up, he's taking his own third, but it's much, much later than herO's. And now herO, he's got, all 3 tech paths. He's making an Oracle, Immortal, and Blink all at once. Throwing down some extra shield batteries as well. And herO's got some good scouting on the map. He even has the watchtowers. So.
By the way, herO, one of these players is exhibiting, he is more of a complete package, despite how much we talk about how aggro he can be.
Yeah.
This is just a very safe game.
Yeah.
In some way, he might even be a little bit more into in INnoVation's head, INnoVation just coming off of 2 very fast losses, very specific timing attacks. Now he's going to say, all right, INnoVation, let's play it by your rules.
Yeah. Well, INnoVation's coming over with quite a big attack. Double medevacs are out as well.
Keep in
But
mind,
he's got a blink, so
yeah, he can also always pick up if he sees that the Protoss is over-defended somewhere and try to drop in the main or in the expansion. And hero's in pursuit, especially with Blink.
Ooh,
Wow,
that's
takes
a
it
big
up.
pick off.
So even picking off the medevacs like that, I mean, there's not going to be a lot of sustained potential when the big fights come down. You know, ideally you want to have tons of medevacs over your army so that if there's an A-click with fights and everything's sort of attacking everything else, your infantry stays alive. But taking out that makes the army overall weaker, and of course there's just a lower likelihood of drops.
Yeah.
And every time Terran does decide to drop with the fewer remaining medevacs that they have, they're at higher risk.
It's always great to pick off a medevac. And, looking at the way that hero's playing this, I think that this is just a completely beautiful game from him. You know, to do the Oracle into 3 bases, and he skirted as much as he could, like he just kind of cut units and cut gateways as much as he possibly could, had enough units every time, just barely, to make INnoVation turn around. Now into the double Forge and double Robo. It's great. Oh, and he's going Disruptors. I was not expecting that, but he is getting a Speed Prism, so it's definitely something you can do.
Yeah, he could try to do that harass. Also, the 4th base, I guess there's one more base Terran can kind of easily hold, but maybe he wants to stay just outside of there. Now, hold up. War Prism coming out.
Okay.
Not with Disruptors in it.
Yeah.
INnoVation itching to try to hit this 3rd base, but it seems like Hero is just... Hero knows that this is going to happen. He's got a lot of Stalkers. If INnoVation's not careful, those can be gunned down. There's also going to be a big drop coming in over here.
He's just kind of going Blink Disruptor overall. Really cool. I'm an Uncanny fan as well, so I understand.
A true American hero.
No doubt.
Okay.
Gonna win Nation Wars, I'm sure.
He's unloaded over here. No Warpins. We're still waiting for that small group of 3 medevacs to try to come in. Whoa! Lots of Liberators. They were pissed.
Liberator range just now starting. Some decent scouting going on. So many Disruptors being made. I'm really surprised that he's going so heavily into Disruptor play, but it is just straight up Blink Disruptor. It's a hard to control army. Look at that. His Stalkers are like, yeah, there's no drop coming in. Oh, eventually there's going to be.
Is he going to bring those Disruptors down across the map, or is that just Stalkers moving with his army?
No, he's bringing his Disruptors. He has to. I mean, we haven't seen it, but...
Here we go.
All right, this is a great drop right now. He's going to have to recall.
Whoa. Really good play there by INnoVation.
Yeah.
Picks up the moment the recall starts. Says, good, stay back.
The army was almost across the map, too.
Yeah.
And now INnoVation goes away, knows he's forcing him to leave units there. Wow. This was really well done by INnoVation. You can see as we get into the later game and he hasn't died to something random that he's playing very, very well. He's maxed out at this point. He's got more workers. He's got great upgrades being made. Liberator range is about to finish with a ton of Liberators.
But the push is about to happen here. A lot of Disruptors.
It's so many Disruptors.
Here we go. Oh, he's spreading this out nicely. Now, there's no medevacs over this.
Massive.
No way to outrun that. Nice Liberator placed over here. So he zoned out his opponent from this. It looks like now this command center is going to go down. And if I'm not mistaken, you could just keep chucking Disruptors over there. Yeah. Already a Zealot attack up here at the top. Does anybody really care about that Liberator up there, slowing that down? Right now, it's paramount that the Terran survives this huge Protoss harass over here.
Jeez.
Kind of creating a no man's land here. Terran can't quite leave home.
Yeah, it looks like that Zealot harassment did a little bit at the 3rd base, but not really that much. Of course, he's got to get a flying unit out to deal with this. I thought he had a Phoenix at some point. I guess it must have died. But a Tempest on the way. Not mining from that 3rd base is significant. Okay, there's the Phoenix. A couple Stargates coming up. So it looks like we might be into Blink Tempest Disruptor. It's not a comp that you see that often.
Yeah, hero with this really cool alternative style. It seems like he wants to keep INnoVation matted on those 3 bases. Keep him low, don't really let him push. A lot of mobility here from hero. Now, INnoVation's actually going to try a push of his own. And this could tear herO apart. Stalkers are great against drops and harass, but disruptors are not exactly great defensive units if you're being hit in multiple locations. If there's a push outside your base, you can definitely try some zoning games, like we're seeing here, but it might not cut it.
Those ranged liberators really coming in. Now look at this, the double drop into the main base. How do you deal with this and keep that main army back? Oh my god, INnoVation picking up. He's going into the third base during all of this, setting up his liberation zones. Great moves by INnoVation. Oh man, I think he's going to be able to take this game. No problem.
I think you're right, Artosis. I think herO is doing a pretty good job, but in the end, INnoVation just really crushing from all these different angles.
Tempest helping out to clean this up, but he loses his third base. He still does have that fourth up in mining, so that's pretty strong. A big warp in here, double prism coming in. One prism's not enough for the amount of zealots he wants to make.
So tearing up these SCVs. Meanwhile, herO taking a serious beating, every base under fire.
This is going to be a tough one. I'm not sure how many Tempests. Looks like 2 Tempests here, so he can eventually kill off all of these Liberators. But it looks like he's going to lose another Nexus likely.
Liberators coming up. Whoa!
Oh my god!
The entire ground army was killed.
Oh my god, that was sick.
Oh, wow.
Man.
Okay, hold on. Then this game goes on.
Yeah.
This game absolutely goes on.
That was a little bit sloppy. Every unit.
Oh my god.
The Disruptor's just cleaning house there.
3 shots takes out the entire ground army. Liberators exposed enough. The Stalkers can blink in. They take them out. And now we got a counter push here from herO.
Yeah.
This is after INnoVation lost the first 2 games, guys, to these very specific, frustrating timing attacks from herO. This game, INnoVation playing incredible defense, nearly crushing herO, but herO actually holds it, and now INnoVation has to brace for impact.
All right, he's bringing up his Tempest to start poking away at this. There are some Vikings to help out, but not enough really to clear all these. Well, unless you don't micro at all.
Well, it looks like the Tempests are just
a little bit late on that one disruption ball.
Okay, he's trying to come through here, but every time that these Marines and Marauders stim under, for instance, to try to chase away this Tempest, these Disruptors can keep chucking explosives forward.
Yeah, but look at this, just rezoning everything out with the Tempest, bringing up some more Vikings as they are produced. He's going to kill off the rest of the Tempest.
These Vikings are MVP right now.
Yeah.
Because the Tempest would actually help in breaking this location and INnoVation leapfrogging those Liberator zones. But he needs to be careful not to overextend.
Yeah, this is so hard to break, and it's a planetary too. Oh, that's so funny.
Just going to slowly destroy that planetary over time.
It can be done. I think he'll repair it, though.
Since there was an opening here, INnoVation's headed up to the north and is going to try to take out this expansion that's being made in the top center. I don't believe there's anything realistically that herO can do to stop that.
Well, he turned around, so I think he's kind of felt this out, that INnoVation's probably countering at this point. INnoVation has turned around, though.
3-3 is done, by the way, for INnoVation.
Oh, that's
We're at a new level of scary for INnoVation on this map.
Yeah. Looks like he's already setting up to deny mining at the third base once again. 4 Liberators at a time. The Fleet Beacon, the new Fleet Beacon, has warped in, so multiple Tempests coming, but it's going to take a while to get the Tempest count he needs to truly push back this Sky Army.
So herO has survived a little bit longer, but INnoVation is powered up once again and is looking to come in here with a killer blow. This would be INnoVation continuing. Hold on. So many liberation zones. I mean, how are you ever going to get underneath that?
It's super tough.
You try to hit that from
Stalkers
the air?
Can't kill it quick enough. And then there's also bio under there. And, like, theoretically, the Disruptors want to kill that bio, but you can't do it. There's too much. He needs the Tempest to work, and now with this many Vikings, that's not going to work either.
I think he overmade Disruptors. I like the idea of a few of them, but I think that when you have this many, they can't really do anything, you know?
I think the problem is just the absolute massive range of these Liberators. The Disruptors can do fantastically. We've seen them do a couple things really well so far this game. But, like, you can't cover the entire distance that you need to get under these Liberators with Stalkers. But the Tempests are actually doing a great job now. He loses 2 bases, though.
Yeah, and INnoVation's macro is proving to be pretty intense. Again, though, INnoVation does not get an easy base once he mines out what he has over here. It's a little bit easier for Protoss to keep up with growth.
INnoVation turns around and fights these stalkers. Ooh, a lot of disruption balls coming out. INnoVation's turnaround, though, does get away.
So many Liberators. It's kind of crazy. Now, when you have just as many Liberators and not a huge ground army, I actually think if you keep massing Tempests and have the Disruptors and the Stalkers, I think you can possibly pull something off. But INnoVation basically moves back, and then right when herO's not in a good position, he stimps forward, guns down a lot of these Disruptors. But, you know, herO seems to be making ground.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, and now he's got so many Tempests that he's actually starting to clear everything.
The multitasking on both of these sides is crazy.
Yeah.
But with the Tempest just getting this Liberator count lower, it's actually getting kind of scary.
I believe INnoVation is trying to set up a counter somewhere, maybe at the third base. I see a little group of units that went off to the side there.
We haven't gotten it on camera yet, so I'm not totally clear on what it is, but it seems to be something.
These Tempests really being worth their weight in gold right now. Uh-oh, no disruption balls ready there whatsoever. INnoVation knew it, too. Oh, he sends off two at once.
You can really see how much INnoVation's adapted to just the unit composition that we have here. Okay, is this the beginning of the end here?
Yeah.
These Immortals can't quite run away in time. The Disruptor count is low. Tempests are beginning to disappear in these fights.
And only a couple Disruptors are actually left over. He needs a little bit more splash. Okay, coming up once again, he's going to be able to clear all of these flying units. INnoVation, that is. Yeah.
There it is.
All right.
INnoVation begins his comeback. He's got to do it 2 more times, though.
That was a really good game out of INnoVation because I felt like herO got himself into a nice spot, but that Liberator range helps him to clear everything out at the end of the day. Nice usage, by the way, of just Blink Disruptor. We don't get to see that at the top pro level that often.
Kind of cool to see him actually with a unit composition like that. I do wonder, though, just looking back, I mean, was that too many Disruptors? When do, you know, Disruptors are kind of like Reavers in StarCraft 1, where they're good, but if you could only have Disruptors in your army, does it suddenly make them better? I don't think so. I feel like there's a number that you want to get to, and then cut it off.
He was at, what, 6?
8, 6 or 8,
6 or 8. I think it's all right, because with the speed that they reload, I think there were times where he overshot them.
Like all
a lot of people do that. You don't want to shoot all of them at once. They have a pretty big AoE. They overlap a lot and stuff. And you need to be able to, like, use them a little bit more consistently. I think he was still going to lose the game, but I liked the number overall. It was, I liked how he played the game.
All right, let's go to Game 4. INnoVation versus herO.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 8, Match 3. INnoVation. Root Gaming, herO.
So the more straight-up game, INnoVation is able to take down all those.
This is kind of how we were envisioning this series to look. Was herO is going to do something crazy. INnoVation's going to have a hard time stopping it, but if the game allows itself to develop into a more standard-looking game of expansions and complex unit compositions and fights throughout the map, and the tug-of-war for control in the middle of the map, INnoVation's supposed to win that. INnoVation's basically supposed to win that against almost anybody. Now, with that being said, we've had 3 games so far. herO's up 2-1. Does herO really want to play a more standard game again? I don't know. I look at it and I would say, go back to doing something crazy, man. It worked.
Yeah, do some earlier aggression. The thing is, Backwater, it's hard to open up aggressively there. You know, you got that one focal point to defend, and you can get 3 bases rather easily. We actually saw herO gain what I felt like was a little bit of an advantage just by playing a little bit greedily on that map, and I think that's how Backwater should play out, to be honest. So I don't mind him going into that mode of play, but it did not end up working. Here on Catalyst, it's a much smaller map, a lot easier to kind of maneuver around and get some damage done at the third base and stuff like that. So I think he'll not just go for the kind of passive 3 bases, in my opinion.
We have the Reaper coming out once again.
Stalker to start as opposed to an Adept. Could point towards Blink, could point towards... Oh, there you go.
Twilight Council immediately.
Yeah. So probably Blink.
So we want to see, does the Reaper spot it? Stalker just now comes out.
Good zoning on that Reaper. The Reaper can't get up and see that it's Twilight. Becomes a little bit hard to play. We saw, of course, that he had a hard time against the Blink build previously on Neon Violet Square.
Yeah, and so much of this, this game will come down to is Terran aware. It's scary too when you're in the darkest Terran against someone like herO. There's so many different builds you're factoring in, right? You might be ready for one strategy, you set up for that, and they do something different. Scouting is supreme. Now, of course, as you were saying, Artosis, you see this one Stalker that can telegraph mass Stalkers. But the problem is hero's tricky enough that sometimes it doesn't mean that. Now he sees two Stalkers.
It's like if you're an afraid type of guy, you might just make Stalkers anyways. If you're making Adepts and they come over across the map with Cyclones, you've seen more than a few good Protosses just straight die to that.
Yeah, exactly. So Blink's on the way. We have the Robo coming here too. INnoVation in the dark now. Trying to get in here with this Reaper.
Yeah, it's not even really pointing towards necessary aggression. Like, you can get a Prism and try something with this.
Yeah, you can also do defensive Blink.
Absolutely.
Just try to eat their Medivacs.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, here comes an attack right now. One Cyclone, 4 Marines, headed northbound towards the main here of herO.
If you play like this and you catch the first Medivac and you actually kill it in its contents, you are in so good shape.
Now, this is intentional by INnoVation. He's trying to draw those Stalkers away. I don't think there's going to be anything to defend here when he goes into the main.
Ooh, that pylon could be a strong kill right there.
He's going to get it for sure.
I'm having deja vu taste since I've seen a game just like this before.
Blink just barely doesn't finish in time. That's so crazy. Wow.
The millisecond it finished, he blinked. That was like so close. I'm like, it's not even, the animation's not even done. Well placed second pylon though. Really well placed. I thought it was going to unpower for a moment. All right, charge plus teching up into, well, it could be Colossus, could be Disruptor. We don't know.
Tanks being incremented out here along with +1 range attack. INnoVation scouts look for a 30. Sees a probe headed over there. So it's pretty obvious what the story is now. And we basically want to sit back and wait. We see more and more production facilities coming down here for INnoVation. I don't believe he has no third command center, right? He's not.
No, he has
so he's just powering up.
Yeah.
So high chance that the pressure is going to be on this very northern center base here for herO. There's also the option for INnoVation to try to mix it up and push through other areas like the natural or do drops in the main.
Yeah. Dude, this is really cool, by the way. Once again, he's getting double Robo. He's going into charge. We see a Prism and Prism speed. I am really digging this. I think he's going Disruptor again.
The funny thing is that, we've had opinions off and on about Disruptors and like, do you really want to get that unit? And, how strong is it? The fact that he's continuing to repeatedly do this in matches that are obviously very important.
Yeah. This is actually kind of a big deal right now that he's doing this. And this makes a lot of sense the more you think about it, right? So if you're going Disruptor, you do need 2 Robos. You can't just increment them out one at a time. They aren't as strong as Colossus. And they're cheap too. And they don't really take that long to build. So you can just grab 2 Robos and do that. But the fact of the matter is that if you're going Blink Disruptor, like you said, you don't want to max out on those units on Blink Stalkers nor Disruptors.
You need them comboed. You need some synergy with some other army units.
And well, what he's doing here is utilizing a Speed Prism and Charge Lots to sink the rest of his money. He's got this very mobile force that can really kite Terran back and it has some aggressive potential and stuff, but really he's utilizing a Speed Prism that he can easily get an upgrade because the Disruptor tech doesn't even cost very much. And then he's utilizing all the rest of his money on charge lots because you don't want too many Stalkers. It's not like you want 24 Stalkers with this.
Right.
I love this. This is so smart.
Very cost-efficient little drop here in the main.
Oh my God, that's
that's too bad. Just imagine a world where he gets that.
Well, that's Or INnoVation breaks his keyboard.
INnoVation just waiting right now. Yeah, I mean, if you took out Stim, you basically win the game.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, push
No,
me?
I've
You
never
gonna
seen
attack me?
Stim like get killed and then the Terran win.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen. I love this build, though. I'm in love with this build. I'm using this.
From herO, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he's playing this very well considering what style of play he's up against here.
Blink Disruptor
With
is so
INnoVation?
fun to use, man.
Ooh.
He had something fancy planned and he called it off at the last second here.
Okay, so INnoVation with a very slow third base. This is long after herO had his third up and running. Is there a chance herO tries to come in here and start attacking on this? I don't see why he wouldn't at least try to harass in and shave off exterior units. Maybe go in there and try to get the SCVs. If you have a Warp Prism, you can do that as well.
Looks like he wants to come into this side. That's kind of a nice thing he's doing. Look at this. He actually flies in with the Prism. It doesn't actually do that well, though.
Okay, nice targeting. They were not quite in a good position to those Stalkers. Now, if the army is not with the Medivacs and these Disruptor shots connect, everything's going to die. I feel like INnoVation throughout the series has begun to step up his response to Disruptors chucking those explosives at him.
Throwing their nades at him.
Well, it's funny. It's like a different type of control, right? You're just trying to pick up all of your army at once, like some kind of mega banelings coming in.
Yeah, that's definitely one good way to dodge a Disruptor shot. You have to be careful if there's Stalkers nearby, but...
Oh!
Oops.
Wow, nearly takes out those tanks. Or at least one of them.
But kind of does nothing at the same time. Okay, this is actually a really fantastic drop, but herO's hitting the main base during all this. Does he have a recall? He's just going to lose that third Nexus.
This is going poorly for herO. These Zealots are getting cleaned up pretty easily. Also, Warp Prisms are being shot down from the sky constantly.
All right, blinking forward here. He's going to be able to pick off a huge chunk of his army, maybe even all of it. Ooh, good kill there. Nice catch.
Yep. Getting this down pretty low, but herO is hurting. He's going to have to remake that Nexus, but at this point, INnoVation's basically in a very dominant position. He's able to assert his, wherever he wants to on the map, he can come in there and pretty much win a fight.
And losing that Nexus definitely does hurt, but there's a fun thing about Disruptors, is that, it's a great comeback unit, Like, you don't have to have that much, and this army is still super dangerous. If he had, that's so funny. That's still too many Disruptor shots, but his army is still really dangerous. It's hard for INnoVation to just walk out and kill him, and if INnoVation's not really watching, bad things can happen to INnoVation at this point.
herO's still, though, just floating on this this third base. I mean, if you're right, if we do have these beautiful shots with the Disruptors, maybe he can do that kind of damage.
Decent Disruptor connection right there.
Yep, just staying out here on the edge. I think right now herO never too sure if he should blink in there and try to take out all these Liberators. Ooh. If you overextend with a blink, the ground infantry army, they just stim and just destroy everything.
I think, is he trying to flank or something? There's a sensor tower, so it doesn't make too much sense. Oh, he gets another Prism in. This is the thing about speed Prisms. Turrets don't stop them.
Yeah, they just damage them. The Sim City here, though, for INnoVation kind of saving the day whenever those Zealots do come in. And here's another counter drop. Keep in mind, herO did not remake his third base that was destroyed in the top center. So losing this would knock herO onto two bases, forcing him to have to end the game immediately.
I think his recall is up right now, but maybe he doesn't have the energy on that Nexus. Recalling the natural doesn't help.
He's just going for it.
Yeah, that's a lot of Liberators right there. He's doing a great job zoning that bio out. Ooh, he blows up some of his own Zods. But
just one Disruptor left.
He's only on two base, and they're basically mined out because they're his first two.
Yeah, I mean, herO's basically dead. We got to go to game 5.
This is a great series. You were right, Tasteless. I take it all back. This is the best series of the night.
Again, though, I feel like herO needs to probably go with more of the cheesy builds that he's used to doing, right?
Well, he's playing his own macro style right now that he stole from a great streamer. Poking in here at that third base. He's trying to make something happen. Rubbing a couple nickels together to make a quarter here.
There's just too many times the Liberators shot down too much. Hero should tap out. Okay, there it is.
Yeah.
GG. INnoVation's now tied it up 2-2. Really beginning this comeback that's been kind of crazy. INnoVation's starting to have the most interesting story here in the Super Tournament. If he advances, I don't know if anybody's going to stop Martosis.
Well, he beat Rogue, the winner of the last Super Tournament. Will he beat herO, the runner-up of the last Super Tournament? He's going to destroy all the other Super Tournament players. Well, this would be both the winners, wouldn't it?
Wow. So we're going to the final map here. Darkness Sanctuary.
Oh yeah, Darkness Sanctuary. That was actually kind of an interesting one to see pop up. Of course, it's the last map. You only get one veto in this tournament. Neither player, playing veto chicken here and not taking out Darkness Sanctuary, a map that they don't get to practice as much. It's a giant 4-player map. It's going to be the map that you are least likely to see or practice on. It's not in the ladder or anything, so it makes it a bit more difficult. Basically, it's a map that has 4 very distinct quadrants with 4 bases each in them. And it is 4, right? It's not 3, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Each quadrant has 4 bases in it. So like your first 4 bases aren't that bad, aren't that hard to get. And then after that, it's like, well, you're just kind of like remote outpost way out there, hard to hold.
I wonder, hero's got some very tested strategies, and I am staying with my my analysis that I think herO has to do something like Game 1 and 2 to win this. I don't think there's a point in trying to play a macro game against INnoVation.
It seems that way.
I mean, the results
the
speak
2
for
macro
themselves.
games, yeah, those are basically two pretty
I appreciate that he's trying it, and he tried it for those 2 games. But man, he won Game 1 and Game 2 faster than it took for us to finish Game 3 as a standalone or Game 4. Probably try to do something aggressive. Do your trickiest build.
On a huge 4-player map, though, it's a little bit difficult to do that as well, right?
Well, you definitely have less options. The more starting locations there are, the less crazy stuff you can do.
Yeah, and you kind of have to walk pretty far to get across the map and stuff, so I'm not sure how herO can really approach this to do something aggressive and something crazy. Nothing's really coming to mind for me. He might have to play a longer game here. I don't know.
This is a very tough one. Also the games that we had where herO lost, it was actually pretty close economically. I mean, you can look at the last 2 minutes of any game and be like, wow, domination. But realistically, had INnoVation not pushed up into the very middle of Game 4 and actually taken out that base?
Yeah, that was the big moment. And herO just wasn't quite aware of that, which is kind of interesting as well because he's playing on double robo. I feel like you probably could squeeze out a couple extra observers to watch for things like that, but I mean, there's so much stuff going on at this point, and there's so much premium on that build time. He's having to make a lot of different prisms to keep the harassment up, and he's making a bunch of disruptors. I'm getting a brain fart there. Anyways, it's been very cool games so far. I'm totally enjoying this series. Going into Game 5, hard to say who's going to be able to take it. But at this point, even though I came in here really thinking herO is going to be able to take down INnoVation, especially with this last map, maybe it's INnoVation's time.
Let's find out. Our game's ready. This is the last game between INnoVation and herO. The winner goes on to the Final 4.
GSL SuperTournament, Season 1, Round of 8, Match 3. INnoVation.
Good old INnoVation. Stepping it up here in Super Tournament. Great games against Rogue and now against herO.
Root Gaming, herO.
And herO, it's hard to think of the Super Tournament without thinking about herO.
Yeah.
And how we had such incredible performance in previous Super Tournaments. Always coming with different styles, different varieties. Always playing around the edge of the meta. Around the meta of cheeses, even.
That is something that he's always been very good at and has gotten better at in the last year or so. I remember about a year ago we were starting to say, like, wow, I mean, is herO better at mind games than SOS at this point? Kind of really filled out his play in that way.
And it's
he
like,
was always
you know,
good at before. I felt like he was almost a little bit more of a micro-based player before. Now he seems to have, you know,
he knows how to set up a build, use the mind games, and then win with his micro.
Yeah.
And it's different from SOS, who is kind of almost drifting from mind game to mind game, and you know he'll see something a little bit off with your building placement, or you know, maybe he wins a fight and takes out just a certain number of units and identifies immediately a solution. I don't feel like herO's like that.
yeah.
When herO goes for aggressive plays, he comes in there, he really he just does it all perfectly. He controls well. Any situation he's kind of fine in.
Micro's like a fiend quite often. Probe trying to get away from the Reaper. Nothing you can do about that. Just making an Adept at the moment. Getting that Warp Gate rather quickly as well. So maybe not a Stargate. Okay, goes into a Robo right away.
Interesting.
It doesn't necessarily mean anything. They're cross spots. So this might just be him getting some observers for decent scouting.
Stop those medevacs, make sure that nothing can get inside of his base.
And at the same time, this could be, you know, to get a quick prism. It could, like, there are some very funny builds out there. Let's not forget the fast prism 4-gate build of Myung Shik back in the day. That would be the cheesiest thing you could do from here.
Now this was spotted here. He sees the Robo, so INnoVation already, this is setting off algorithms in his mind of how to respond ideally to this.
So 1 Adept, 2 Stalkers so far. Let's see where he goes with this. If he's going to go for the gateway-based play, he's going to have to add those really soon. Making an Observer, though. Again, you can play this in a quite defensive manner. Just use Observers to kind of spot what's going on. If you're going to play a long macro game here, you probably need quite a few Observers. 1 gate being added. That doesn't really tell us anything yet.
Nice block. herO trying to look for any kind of opening here. And it is observers being pumped out. Particularly when you're in spots like this, you need to make sure you are okay from all the different angles of your base. It's not like some of these one-on-one maps where you just know if you're at the bottom, the attacks are going to come from the top. In this case, they can hit many different sides, especially as you get bigger and bigger. So having those observers out and just trying to track what the Terran's doing and respond to it is key.
Yeah, so he is getting the support bay. That was actually a pretty solid scout right there. But the support bay and 2 forges. Okay, so this should be Colossus. This should. I would be quite surprised at this point if he goes Disruptor with the very early forges. That doesn't really fit together that well. But if he's going to sit here on 2 bases, yeah, I mean, the double forge Colossus is going to be a pretty solid choice. For a longer macro type play. And the thing is, you don't necessarily have to. There are 2-2 timing pushes that you can do with Colossus-based openings. Good observer. Sees this incoming.
So some Stalkers here. Fortunately, INnoVation very on top of his medevac. Pulls that out immediately, looking for anywhere else to drop. Protoss getting a Warp Prism now, as the rest of the Terran's production, as well as that stim upgrade, is finishing up. On the other side of the map with herO, we have the rest of these gateways warping in now. So he's going to have a lot more power. We do want to watch and see, is herO going to try to take a third here? Looks like he will, and it'll be in that closer to the center right location.
herO really setting himself up for a very nice game. Ah, he actually killed one of the observers. That was nice. I guess that's what that scan was. So on INnoVation's side, I think a lot of this game right now is going to come down to what INnoVation wants to do. Does he want to hit a massive attack or just go into a very long game? Because herO's setting himself up so well with the Forges and with the Colossus. These just like really parlay well into late game. Not even taking too late of a third, so he's playing it safe as well. And wait, he canceled Thermal Lance to get speed on his Prism, huh?
Huh.
Pretty sure that he canceled the Thermal Lance.
I'll take your word for that. I actually was not following the tab right there. I was looking at the fact that INnoVation moving out on the map here, and the fact that, you know, most of these games, it's really been INnoVation one way or another, kind of holding stuff off and or losing, but in the 2 previous games, holding stuff off and then kind of valiantly pushing forward and taking out the Protoss scum that has done nothing but try to cripple him and slow him down. Now, taking the third here, I think INnoVation might try to bite And at that exact moment, there's going to be this warp inside the main.
Yeah, the Speed Prism flies right in, drops off some Zealots that don't have charge, but they're still pretty scary. Get some lost mining time. You can pick off some buildings here. Looks like he's going to go after a Reactor. It's about the best building to pick off at this point. INnoVation really gunning for that Prism, but it does have speed, so it gets away.
Shows you what a War Prism can really do when it has that speed upgrade.
Yeah.
You can know where it is. You can have units sent to attack it, but it can still probably get away.
Our observer pointing out right there that Thermal Lance isn't here yet, and he hasn't started it. So that can be an issue. Now, you can get it kind of late. The Colossus does have 6 range without Thermal Lance right now. Right, because it was 5 and then it went to 9, and now it's 6 and it goes to 9. Yeah, there you go. He is getting it. The thing is, sometimes that's like one of the big ways that Protosses lose games is they somehow forget to get Thermal Lance, and then the Colossus don't do anything when they need to do everything.
Yeah, if the Colossi are not firing and connecting a lot of their shots when the battle's happening, you've already wasted all your money on them. Another little harass here with these Zealots. It's funny because, yeah, without speed, I mean, they're very basic units, but it's something that realistically INnoVation just has to respect. He has to respond to that. Otherwise, he just starts to lose SCVs and is ultimately taken out in the long run.
Some Stalkers walking out into the middle of the map. Maybe just take over the Watchtower or something like that. The Prism getting most of his scouting done so far.
So herO's sending Stalkers out. This is going to clear out everything, which can put Terran in a bad spot, especially with Medivacs moving around. If you get caught with your pants down and they just gun that out, sometimes that's all you need. You get their armory for free.
Yeah, the map is so long. Look how big the map is. Just look at the mini-map and these armies moving and how long everything's taking. It's pretty crazy. Picks off another couple Medivacs there, so really strong play from herO here. Still just kind of zoning everything on his side of the map. And Liberator range is now on the way, and there are 2 starports out. So these are really fantastic things for INnoVation to get later into the game. But herO's moving forward. He's got his 2-2 about to finish. This is something I was talking about at the beginning. There are 2-2 timing attacks you can do with Colossus-based play. His Thermal Lance is about to finish as well. But I think there's a decent amount of Liberators. I want to say that there's a good 5 to 6.
Whoa, he jumped right in before the sentries and everything else could get here. Seems like he's in a pretty good spot, though. One more Liberator is remaining. The Colossi over here on the very bottom are still doing a decent amount of damage. And herO with surgical precision, is beginning to cut through.
Yeah, it seems like INnoVation was not quite prepared for that as Liberators get picked off before they can even do anything.
GG, that's it. Wow, I thought we were going to have a little bit of a longer game, but herO did it with that great timing attack. That was a moment where he had to make the right choice in a matter of a second.
Yeah.
He saw the Liberators were there. They were in position. His sentries are way in the back. But he knew if he gets those first few Liberators, then no matter what, you can then push through the rest of the army as long as your sentries have good force fields and the Colossi are safe. There's nothing to contest that.
Well, when you're going for a Liberator-based composition like this, you have to play that little zoning game where you're positioning and repositioning against Protoss. Your Liberators can't just be, if they're picked off, that's it. It's like if you're going for Lurkers and then their Lurkers are all dead, you're not going to win. If you're going for Broodlords and the Broodlords are dead, you're not going to win.
Yeah.
Same
If you're going
tanks,
for
Colossus.
fill in the blank,
yeah,
they cost a lot of gas and come out of a special building especially, and you lose all that, you're probably going to lose the game. It seemed almost as if INnoVation was not anticipating herO to full-on engage there, or maybe he knew, but
yeah,
he sort of had a defensive position. But a lot of times you'll see someone coming at you and they sort of skirt around on the edges of your base.
I think you're exactly right.
Didn't happen that time. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, our final best of 5. Don't go away.